Morton is behind the fueling of the world's best, including a lot of riders in this Tour de France. In fact, many of these teams aren't even sponsored by Morton. They buy the products themselves. They're that good. Use code MortonTDF at Morton.com for 20% off gels and drink mixes. Okay, this is one of those stages, team. It's taken me a long time to edit. It was like doing Paris-Roubaix. You're looking at this profile, you're telling me, what are you talking about? There's 3 hills at the end that are quite steep. It's just going to be a sprint or versatile sprint stage. Little Trek want to get in the breakaway. That creates a power vacuum because they're the dominant sprint team. They don't think Milan can make the finish. And because they don't think Milan can make the finish, they don't want Pog taking green jersey points. So the breakaway formation, Abrahamsen goes. Remember this breakaway. They go from the gun, from neutral. Then some other trucks come over. Askey, Swift, Van Aert. Trek go again with Schurns. It gets blocked up. Then Milan jumps again. You add into the mix of Wanty having a few injured guys, Milan not going to the finish and not wanting Pog to take green jersey points. Alpecin saying that Van der Poel was a bit sick this morning. When it's free reign on a flat stage to get in the break, chaos can ensue because then everyone wants to get in the breakaway. Look at the splits already happening after the first Category 4, a 6% climb. The punchers like Simmons you saw, Van Aert, Alaphilippe started to split it. And Ben Healy in the yellow jersey was on the wrong side of that split. So not just Ben Healy, an EF Education Easy Post. Tadej Pogacar, for the first time in this year's Tour de France, is behind. And he's on the radio saying, I'm behind, you need to pace. Probably Felix Gall is here as well because Decathlon were pacing. But it comes back. There's no big dramas in that situation. You know, these splits sometimes happen and you're just on the wrong side of it. And it looks like maybe the break's going a minute, but EF didn't block it up. And then there's a French counterattack with Berthet Tranchant. But what do you see here? Maybe you just see an Alpecin rider. I see Zandra Murisa pacing. Why is he pacing? It's very unusual, when normally they would be controlling for Mathieu Van der Poel. So obviously he got the green light to go across to this breakaway, and Van der Poel has told them, listen, don't control for me. I'm not feeling 100%, or it's too chaotic. We don't have the manpower to control this. You got to go back for bidons at some point. It gets blocked up. There's Fred Wright and Bergerdo had got across. There's 5 in front, but there's still 15 teams not represented, but teams are going to pee. It's been an hour and a half. Vermeersch goes to pee. Pogacar goes to pee. Crucially, the yellow jersey doesn't go to pee. He's still up there with EF, but no one's taking control yet. And Wanty come to the front. They want to set a tempo. They're not attacking. They want to control for Binny's stage win. They want to control, but EF and Jaco in Bahrain let his wheel go. And then Groupama see that, they bridge across to him, and then a whole attack phase goes again. I mean, I was looking to go for a pee myself. I was wanting my normal siesta on these sort of stages. The gap was 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, there's a whole new break formation. We have 77 Ks left in the stage. And Ben Healy's in this group, Vingegaard's here, that Tadej Pogacar is behind. He's looking ahead like, what's going on? I thought it got blocked up on a narrow road. You see Van der Poel's coming back with him. Simmons jumps. That's fine. He's on Trek. Stone's allowing it. Kevin Vauquelin is going with him. He's up there on GC, the Arceus B&B hotel rider. Picnic don't like that. EF don't like that. Remco doesn't like that. Bora doesn't like that. Van der Poel jumps. Vingegaard's like 5th wheel here. Van Aert, his teammates in the breakaway, and then Ben Healy launches. Ben Healy's like, let's go. Or maybe he's seeing Onley and Vauquelin ahead, and Jonas Vingegaard, he jumps with Ben Healy. He rarely does this, but he did this actually on a very similar stage in 2023 after the first rest day. Van Aert's on the radio like, what? But Vingegaard's bridging across to me on the flat. Tim Wellens starts pacing all out in the Belgian Dricolor jersey, but he has to pull off here. Vingegaard and Healy have nearly made their way over to this strong group with Vauquelin, and crucially for all the other GC contenders, they're seeing Vingegaard going across to Wout van Aert on the flat. That's kind of panic station, so Remco jumps all out across to this group. Pogacar was deeper in the group. You see Vingegaard trying to get to the front of the group to Wout van Aert, but by the time he gets there, Remco had pretty much shut it. Pogacar comes a little bit later sprinting across, and by the time Van Aert starts pacing, I think, Pogacar was pretty much already there, but a lot of panic, a lot of stress. We have less than 70 Ks to go in 10 years ago, this is kind of a versatile, hilly sprint stage for the sprinters that can get over a hill. Vingegaard tries once, and then the same rouleurs, Simmons, Laurence, Van der Poel, De Ligt, and Van Aert go into a counter move. It's finally blocked up with 58 Ks to go. And we still have the 5 in front. Abrahamsen, Bergerdo, Wright, Schmidt, and Ballerini. And we thought it was done. Okay, this group has gone down to 19 seconds, 20 seconds. They're going to catch them. Not so simple. The motorbikes maybe made a bit of a difference. Also playing into it is the guys in front. Yes, they've been out there cooking all day, but they haven't been jumping all day like these guys behind. Van Aert jumped 1,000 times. And so we get to the hill zone. There's also attacks coming. I mean, does Simmons, Laurence, do they want to go to the final wall with Mathieu van der Poel? Same with Abrahamsen. He wants to get rid of maybe the punchy guys. He doesn't want those guys coming across. He goes clear with Schmidt. They were the 2 strongest in the break. They were the guys who jumped from neutral back in the peloton, chilling on the second last climb. Ballerini hanging on for dear life. He'd got dropped back to the second group. Here's that wall. The Côte de Pêche, David. Van der Poel attacks from this group. Maybe he finessed a bit too much and he thought the break was under control, but I think he underestimated the raw power of Schmidt and Johannesson, who relay very well until the last 800 meters. Abrahamsen refuses to take over. Van der Poel is coming. The pressure of him behind meant that Schmidt had to keep pacing, and Abrahamsen takes a huge win, his first Tour de France win after being so strong in the breaks all last year. But back in the GC group, I mean, we thought they were just going to roll in together, but when you put these steep climbs, guys are going to launch. We're seeing who's here, who's in the right place where they need to be. Pogacar, Remco, they all seem to be present and correct. But then Vingegaard attacks over the top. He's followed by Remco. Pogacar closes him in the wheel. And then there's the counterattack, of course. We've seen this a number of times this race in the Dauphiné by Matteo Jorgensen. Pogacar closes him. Then Narvaez attacks. I feel like he makes a mistake here. He should have started pacing. He attacked, but he's not relevant on GC. No one cares. And then Vauquelin counters off him on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, Johannesson, you see they're moving across to the right to follow the move of Only, Vauquelin, and Van Wilde. And Pogacar, he goes down, crashing on his left side pretty hard. And we'll see the overhead shows it a bit more clearly. Pogacar is on the radio or something, and he's going left because his teammate Narvaez is left. So his mind is going left, not to the right with that jumping phase. He's going to expect Narvaez to close it. But because he doesn't have both hands on the handlebars, when Johannesson hits his hand, so Johannesson does chop him. There was no need to go that close to his front wheel. And it's a race incident. Pogacar said that himself on social media after the race. But it was a few factors, you know, him being on the radio, Narvaez maybe stuffing up the control. The GC group waits ahead and Pogacar does come back. But how will this crash impact the rest of the race? And we've got 3 big mountain stages coming, not what he would have wanted. Abrahamsen wins ahead of Schmidt, then Van der Poel, De Lee, Van Aert, Laurence, Wright, Bergerdo, Simmons, Ballerini rounding out the top 10. In terms of GC, Healy keeps the yellow jersey, 29 seconds ahead of Pogacar. Vingegaard's still 1 minute 20 adrift of Pogacar. So Halte-Kamp tomorrow, big stage, not ideal. Pogacar crashing. He and the team said he was pretty much fine afterwards, no broken bones or anything. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you with a recap of that tomorrow. Ciao.